Now, you wrote about the Kargil War.
Yes.
You wrote about Operation Parakram. Both were very different kinds of engagement of the Indian Army. One was an active war, one was a preparation to war. But not many people know that more people died in Operation Parakram than in the Kargil War.
Yes.
So when you speak glowingly in terms of Kargil War, why did you pull back your punches? Why did you not condemn what they did in Operation Parakram?
But I do make the point that more people died in Parakram, most of
Not.
them in demining, in removing the mines.
But you don't condemn that mobilization as a knee-jerk reaction.
Because I do not think it my place to necessarily know what a government should do in the position of a parliament of a country which is an act of
But
war
you're not
being
reporting
attacked.
in the book, you're commenting.
I know, and I ask myself today, because I did interview Brajesh Mishra a few weeks before he died, and I did ask him why the mobilization was essential and was it a mistake. And he seems to believe that the pressure on Pakistan to alter policy, for Pervez Musharraf to come in later and promise that territory would not be used for terror groups, was a consequence of this build-up. Do I agree? I would say no. I would say that was a waste.
But in retrospect, we know that was completely misplaced
But
judgment.
can we ever know? For example, IC-814, you as Home Minister gave a very considered response on this. Would you have, if you were Jaswant Singh or L.K. Advani, released Masood Azhar? And in Pathankot's context, that becomes very relevant today. And isn't the honest answer that we can't be sure? We actually don't know, even as observers or chroniclers, that we can't be sure what governments should do in these situations.
No, IC-184 is not the same as Operation Parakram. IC-184 was an evolving situation where nearly 200 lives were at stake. Operation Parakram was a response to 7 security personnel being killed in an attack on Parliament. So I think, having rightly paid tribute to the valor of our soldiers in the Kargil War, I think my view is that you pulled your punches on Operation Parakram.
Do you believe it was a mistake?
It's a terrible mistake. It's a wasteful exercise. We wasted inventory, we wasted ammunition, we spent huge amount of money, and we got zero returns out of that.
But then the suggestion would be that build-up without war is a waste. So are you suggesting that the country should have gone to war?
No. Build-up without war is not a waste. Well, again, I'm asking the questions, okay?
Old habits die hard.
Build-up is right, provided you know what your objectives are. And none of the objectives were spelt out, and none of the objectives were achieved. Let's move on.
So, but allow
Yes.
me one question just to explore further what you've said. You were Home Minister right in the aftermath of 26/11. We're in Mumbai. Did your government at the time never consider a build-up of troops? Because that was certainly the information at that time, and it's not classified to ask about it today.
Well, in a sense, it still remains classified. I know you guys were asking the question. It was considered, but I think the conclusion was the right conclusion.
Which was?
That we do not repeat an Operation Parakram.
So it was considered?
It was considered, like any kind of a knee-jerk reaction, it was considered.
But were troops moved?
Well, I can't answer that. But the conclusion was right. And we'll talk about it after some time. We're still too close to that. It's 2008, we are only in 2016.
So it'll be in your book?
Well, if I can keep awake at night like you and write a book, I go to bed early. Let's move on.